Besides the Brachiosaurus, one of the most famous of all of the Jurassic World sauropods has to be the Apatosaurus. This large Jurassic titan is primarily known by the title of Gentle Giant, and if there was ever a creature that fit that description, it would probably be this one. Nowadays, just about anywhere in the United States, you'll find yourself an Apatosaurus somewhere. In fact, there is footage from 4 different locations in this video alone. In all of the seasons we've been filming Ingen Dinosaur Profile, 7 of the places we have filmed have had an Apatosaurus nearby. There is also 4 continents that have said that they have had Apatosaurus sightings all around the nation, including Asia, Europe, North America, and South America. Only a small number of them were brought over by the Lockwood estate. However, many people believe that at least one of them was pregnant with a clutch of eggs that they then laid, and of course, other Apatosaurs came out of that. Black markets probably got a hold of either the babies or maybe even the eggs and then sold them off to other sellers. But whenever they reach adulthood, Apatosauruses don't have to worry about much. The biggest thing, no pun intended, that they need to watch out for is their diet, specifically how much they eat per day, because they need a lot of food. They are probably the hungriest of all of the Ingen dinosaurs just based on how much they eat every day. Scientists have calculated that Apatosauruses probably eat about half a ton of plants every week. The Apatosaurus is just such a large animal that it needs to consume this much every time it goes out. In farm areas, it's actually gotten so bad that large fences that are much larger than any others that you're probably thinking of have had to be placed up in order so that the Apatosaurs don't get in. But of course, these fences are not going to always stop them. In fact, cameras need to be placed up sometimes so that in case they do get in, then the individual can be tracked. This camera picked up a juvenile in Wisconsin about 2 months ago. That's another thing you'll commonly notice is that the juveniles are the ones that typically try and get in these places. Adults will usually stay farther away in their own secluded sections. As they grow older, they will start preferring the large, wide open plains more than the large secluded jungles. It takes an Apatosaur roughly 30 to 40 years to reach adulthood, however, so usually the younger ones will stick to the more secluded areas like the jungles. Although occasionally you can find a juvenile or even adult stray closer to humanity than you'd probably think. This one is next to a large highway. But despite that, Apatosauruses are actually quite safe. There's only been one instance of a predator actually going after them and being successful, which was the Indominus Rex. But other than that, no predators will go after these large sauropods. Each step they take is worth about 20 tons, so if a creature were to be unfortunate enough to stand in the way of an Apatosaur, it definitely wouldn't last long. The largest Ingen Apatosaurus we have found thus far weighed almost 60 tons, which is more than we've thought the largest sauropods in prehistory have weighed. As of right now, it's unknown if the Ingen one is just larger than the real-life variety, or if the real-life Apatosaurus was actually much larger than originally anticipated. Some studies have shown that it's possible Apatosauruses do not stop growing. After a certain limit, most creatures will stop the growth process, but maybe Apatosaurus doesn't have this. There is a few bits of information that could support this theory, however, right now it's mostly liminal. There is one thing, though, that we don't know a lot about the Apatosaurus: their young life. Of course, we've seen Apatosauruses that are juveniles, but we have never really seen them as hatchlings before, or hell, even their egg-laying sites. It seems this entire process is rather mysterious. There has never really been a recorded sighting of a baby Apatosaurus before, and let alone an egg. The only thing we have to go off of is the original Apatosaurus that was brought over by Lockwood and then laid eggs here. That's the only ever instance we have ever seen anything like this. But I'm sure that we will one day find out more about this. And of course, that's all I have for this episode. Thank you all for watching, and next time we will probably be going down to a smaller creature, but don't expect the sauropods to leave. As some could say, there is always a bigger fish, or in this case, a bigger dinosaur. And remember, if something chases you, run.